Hello everybody. So you should see in your Dropbox 3 files that I provided. If you find you aren't satisfied with the file that I chose for the third one, you can go to pixabay.com and choose in the search bar videos, and you can find in a whole array of free high quality videos that you can put in the background. You can find all manner of vector kind of CGI backgrounds and all kinds of stuff. But you don't obviously, you can just use what was provided for this. So essentially what this is just an attempt to explore the green screen effects that that Premiere has. So essentially I've got my 3 files here and I've just put them into Premiere, and I'm going to start off by creating a sequence with my green screen 3 as the background. Now you'll notice a couple of things. Green screen 3 is a good deal shorter than green screen 2, so I might just sort of like, Control C, then, dip down to the side here and just Control V. So let's see, copy this, Control V, here we go, Control V. So now we've got like 30 seconds or so, maybe one more. So it'll repeat a couple times, that's okay. It won't be very noticeable. Anyways, so we have that, the background here, and I'm going to go ahead and just call this sequence here. I'll name it something different. I'll call it green screen libello, just so when I save it, it's good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. We'll just drag in green screen 1. Green screen 1 is me playing the recorder badly, and green screen 2 is also me playing the recorder badly. So we're going to combine these two together, and we're going to sort of experiment with some of the things that you can do with the green screen tool here. Alright, so first and foremost, what effect do we need? We need to find the Ultra key. So let's go to Effects, and I'll just sort of explain where we find this, but then I'll give you an easier way of finding it. So if you go under Video Effects, you're going to find where it says Keying. Keying refers to basically giving the Premiere, giving the program sort of like a specific rule to follow, that you're going to create a sort of alpha channel, a transparent like section. So if I click on keying, I find all manner of different kinds of keys that can be used in a variety of ways. Ultra key is the simplest. So we drag that in onto our green screen right here, and we'll just sort of go to Effect Controls, and we'll just find under our, not on green screen 3, but on green screen 1, we've dragged it onto green screen 1, find the Ultra key effect. And you'll see a bunch of, you'll see Ultra key, and you'll see several different things here. Output setting key color, click on the little eyedropper there for key color, and then you click inside, and then boom, you've got your background gone. Now, a couple of things that we're noticing. If I were to sort of kind of like hide this effect for now, let's kind of clear this out for now, right? You notice that I've got this sort of shadow at the top of the screen here, and then I also still have the shadow here, right? So there's a couple of things we can do to get rid of that shadow. If we go over to where it says Output, we can choose the different, various things here. Composites, what's going to work. Alpha channel basically just shows us what is transparent, and so in this case, everything that's black is clear, and everything that's like not black is not clear. So we notice that we have this sort of gray area up here, and we can kind of start to sort of adjust what we've got. But essentially, the first thing we want to do is change our setting from default to aggressive, which is going to clear out some of this. So I click at my alpha channel, I can see a little more of the sort of background is gone. And then when it comes to matte cleanup, I can go over here to the various settings that we've got. We've got matte generation, and essentially the big thing here when it comes to this is I would say transparency. These various things just kind of affect different stuff. Shadow, maybe. Here we go. Shadow, that's good. Shadow, pull shadow down. So I can go back here to alpha channel to composite, and now we can kind of see that. The other thing we can do is we can just sort of crop out the things that we don't want. So in this case, this is kind of making a few things go little haywire here. So I'm going to go over here to my transform under my video effects, and I'm going to find crop. I'll just drag crop in, and I'm going to actually find my crop under effect controls, and I'm going to crop this on the left to kind of like pull out away from the edges there, and on the right, and you're going to be able to see. So okay, cool. All right, so now we've got this. All right, so a couple things can be done now. What's interesting about this is that now what we can do is we can actually shrink this down and we can position this anywhere we want. So I can kind of scale this down a little bit, and of course, once I scale it down, you'll notice that my torso is cut off. So I would obviously need to reposition it. So I could kind of reposition over here, down a little bit, kind of off to the side, and sort of off here. So that's one thing you can do. You could also go over to your rotation and you could turn it upside down and you can animate it. You can move it around and stuff like that. There's all manner of things you do. But for now, I'm just going to shrink it down to about 80%, maybe a little bit bigger here, 85%. And I'm going to make sure that I'm there at the very highest I can go without having the cutoff portions showing. All right, so we definitely don't want any cutoff portion showing. Okay, so there's that. Let's find the other tool here, the other clip. So what's great about this is that you can stack up your green screen effects. So I'll grab a green screen too. I'll just drag this in. And what's awesome is that I can actually, I don't have to redo all the stuff I did. I can just right click here and click on copy. And then right click here and click on paste attributes. And it'll have my ultra key and my crop. Press OK. And then boom, we've got that. Now in this case, my crop is a bit too much on one side. So I'm going to find my crop. I'm going to drag my left side crop down a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. Alright, and then I'll drag my right crop in some. Okay, that's good. And then I'll move me off to the side to where I'm not kind of in the way. Okay, and so the final key here is to kind of match up where these two are going to come in. So let's take a look here. We want to match up the sound, so I'll sort of like drag this over a little bit. I want to say it comes in a little bit afterwards here. Oh, it goes off a little bit there. Let's think here. I want to say we pull it in a little, but we can probably match up these last two here. A little more. Okay, so if I wanted to like double click on this, I can actually see these a bit better. Double click on these guys, you can see these a bit better too. And then kind of coordinate this stuff. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because you could obviously like film multiple parts of your dialogue separately, or your film separately, and then sort of composite them in together. You can add people in later on. You can react to someone who's not there. You can put someone in later in post. You could obviously add effects if you wanted to. You could put yourself in different positions. Any number of things here, but let's see how this sounds. Okay, so that sounds good. Well, as good as it will sound. So, but it's coordinated. That's the point. So what we'll do is we'll just sort of cut all this off to match up. Cut this off as well. Ripple delete this, and then so I think I was a little closer to the camera for green screen too, so I might want to shrink myself down a little bit more. Or maybe I just haven't scaled it up quite yet. Okay, 103. No, that's not what I want. Like 85. 90, 80. Okay. Alright, so. Alright, so there you go. Essentially, the point is that you can, combine these little guys here together, and then you can manipulate them in various different ways. So if, for instance, we wanted green screen 1 to be on the track above, and maybe, for instance, we wanted them to be kind of like, almost like they were sort of playing back to back. We wanted one slightly in front of the other. We could sort of move this one this direction here, and then maybe move this guy this direction here. And now they're kind of like side by side, sort of back to back, leaning against each other and stuff, right? So that's one way of doing it. Goodness. So essentially, this is basically just trying to discover how we use the green screen. The final thing, of course, is we want to make sure that we have cut off our film so that everything ends at the same time. Okay, so then we can kind of like cut everything off here at the end. Make sure this. Okay, cool. So good. Last thing we're going to do is go to our effects and then find under video transitions a dissolve and just kind of dissolve out. We'll put dissolve out for everything, including the meadow as well. And then we'll find under our audio transitions a crossfade and sort of constant power out for both of these. Alright, that's good. And lastly, I just wanted to sort of show you that you can search through effects, keying, and find ultra key and stuff, or the easier way would just be to type in ultra, and then you can find your ultra key. Same thing with crop. You can just sort of search crop, and you can find your crop. You can find whatever it is you want just by searching for it. If you don't really think that there's like a thing you're not quite sure of, like you say, huh, is there like a lightning effect? Oh, look at that. There's a lighting effect. How about lightning? Nope. Oh, I didn't spell it right. Lightning. Hey, there's lightning. Okay, so you can add lightning. Maybe you'll add lightning here. And then, whoa, goodness, there's lightning happening between... Okay, the point is that you can search for different effects. Okay, so, export this as MP4. Let's actually make sure... let's put our name at the very end here. Let's put, like, edited by. And then change the font to something different than the... Than the sort of go-to. So once again, Minion Pro. Definitely change it for something other than Minion Pro. I'm going to change mine to my favorite, which is lemon milk. Tried and true. Okay, cool. All right, neat. All right, so same as in before. Once again, we export media. Oh, in this case, we could click on our timeline, export or timeline for our sequence, export media. And then we can queue it up, or we can just press export, depending on where you want it to go. Choose H.264 for the format, choose medium bitrate for the encoding, and then hit export. All right, there we go. All right, well, I can't wait to see you guys produce. Put a background behind it. It can be the one that I gave you. It could be the one that you chose yourself, and see if you can't get them coordinated, and see if you can't get them to begin and end without having any black frames visible. And make sure that you can see like there's no cutoff edges to your composite. All right, see you guys in class.